welcome everyone to this week's Skippy track guide at the wonderful Laguna Seca. Now, this little cheeky track is very fun, very slidey. It's really about using the hills and camber of the curbs to your advantage. So bear that in mind as we're going around. I'm also going to ask you to watch the steering at certain points of the track, because there's certain corners where you kind of gently roll it in, and then as you get to the apex with the camber, you give it a bit more angle. So keep an eye on the steering as I'm going through the corners. But we are going to show you, if you can see it, which you can't because my head's in the way, a 136.451. And you can see around here we were setting good. Yeah, you can see that one. Good. You can see we have set some 36 mid 36s here, so we're about mid to high 36s, low 37s. So right, I will get rid of that, and then you can see my lap time just there. That's the one we're going to watch. Otherwise, I will show you the weather. Almost forgot that one. And as always, the setup is in the description, and let's crack on to the start finish straight. Right, start finish straight. We're going to have a slightly different editing version of this. Hopefully it'll be a little bit smoother, but this coming here over the crest is apparently turn 1. Ignore it, just straight line it as much as we can, and basically trying to set ourselves up for turn 2. Now turn 2 is a hairpin, but technically it's a double apex, so we kind of want to try and diamond it. What we're looking for is this 3 sign and this white line on the edge. This is where we start braking, and as you can see, as we start doing it quite harshly on the brakes, we're already turning and aiming for the first apex. I get a little bit of oversteer, you will have that, don't worry about it, press on with it. We're still braking through the first apex, and as the front kind of grips, we're back on throttle. We're all the way down into first gear for this, and then we hit the second apex of this hairpin. Accelerate all the way up now. Use all the outside of the track. Bear in mind, left hand side here is pit exit, so be careful of cars coming out the pit. Again, straight line it, and I kind of aim for the 3 board and then straighten up by the 2. So as we get to the 2 board, this again is our braking point, just over here on the right and left hand side, sorry. Brake, we're staying in 3rd gear and just slowly rolling the car in, avoiding this huge red curb. I hit it, you need to miss it. That also sends us wide, which is a real pain in the rear. You need to be very careful on exit. I get a wheel just nicking off here, and it isn't an off track. Any further and it is an off track. But again, we can use the curbs, avoid all the gravel around here. Right, marker again, number 2. This is a common occurrence. That is our turning point. We have a slight lift, and again, we're in 4th gear. We've changed up from the previous turn, turn 3. Turn 4, we can hit this red sausage curb. It's a bit flatter, but basically we want to focus here is getting a nice, smooth, not too much angle on the steering exit. Use the curb, don't use gravel trap. You want to kind of be off the steering by coming off the apex, if that makes sense. Right, little bit of a straight here, going to be a good opportunity to get some slipstream and into the braking zone of turn 5. And again, we're kind of 4th into 5th, depending on how you're doing. I do change in the 5th, and we are looking for the 2 board and this white line. I generally brake at the white line and then start turning in just after the 2. I found particularly with this corner, watch the steering, get in there early, get in the camber, and then turn. You want to be on the curb after that red sausage curb. I've been finding that's the quickest way through there, and probably the easiest way through there. Give me the best exit. Again, we're using the curb on exit. Use all the track you can. Don't use the dusty stuff. On to turn 6. Now, this is a very cheeky little rascal, and you need to be careful. If you're taking a good amount of speed here, there are people that can't take that much speed. This does need your full attention now. So, surprise, surprise, we're aiming for the 2 board again. As we're doing it, we're lifting off and gently coasting the car into the apex. And then as I know I'm not going to hit the red curb, good steering lock. Right as the car goes through the compression, and that really does get you around the corner quite well. We don't change down, we're in 4th gear, and we're 4th gear all the way up to the top of the hill. Again, prime opportunity for overtaking up here. The Skippy is slow uphill, so anyone behind is going to get a lovely tow in the slipstream. And again, this is coming to one of the most famous corners. Yeah, I'd go with that. It's called the corkscrew, turn 7, 8 and 8A. Now turn 7 is a very good marker. You can see the 3 board coming up. That's what we're going to be doing. You need to set up a straight line for braking. The car will get very light over this crest of turn 7, but you want to brake and all the way down into 1st gear. You can take it in 2nd if you're struggling, because what I'm doing is taking this in 1st gear, cutting the corner a little bit cheekily, and I'm changing to 2nd now with the clutch. And this is where I start turning right for 8A, and I'm full throttle. That's the trickiest bit about that, is aiming for 8A because you don't know where it is. So we're into 3rd, and after the bridge I'm changing into 4th. It's an early shift, but I find I can stay on full throttle most of this corner. You kind of want to follow the dark patch around it, and you want a nice late apex. Again, aiming for that red curve. You can hit it, it's not that big, but you want to make sure you don't run wide. If you're running wide down here, you're going to be taking people out as you enter turn 10. So turn 9, very nice fast corner. I did do some brilliant overtakes on that one. Surprise, surprise, we are aiming for the 2 board again, braking, and look how early we're turned in on this. The track kind of goes away. If you get too far out, it will pull you onto the outside, and it will run wide in this corner. It's a very tricky corner, as they all are with here, to use the camber to your advantage. Right, pit entrance on the left hand side here as we are entering turn 11. The most important corner on the track, as it leads onto a straight. Marker again, surprise surprise, number 2. So what we're doing, braking all the way down into 1st gear, and when we get down to about 50 miles an hour, we're turning in and we're aiming for the red thing. Definitely run over that. It's not too big, not too harsh on the car, and we get a good exit. You want to be on throttle before the apex of this corner to maximize this straight. AstroTurf on the right hand side, don't run too wide. There is an off track there. I think it's really cruel and should basically disappear. There are a few off tracks here that are kind of a bit like unfair, kind of a little Spa-esque, but anyway, that is the track over. I hope this editing version was a bit more easy to follow. I try not to rewind too much and get it nice flowing all the way through, but that is the track as we cross the line with a 1:36.451. As I say, this will be the full speed lap coming up. Catch you on the next one.